This week on Crazy for Legos, I am retelling the entirety of Chima. And without further ado, let's get on into the video.
Long before time had a name.
Wait, no, wrong show.
There was a land not too different from ours, with simple creatures, until the legendary Mount Kavora came out, giving its chi to all. Those who drank it became much more sophisticated and created a society y'all don't know yet and love today. However, the few who didn't consume the chi stayed unsophisticated and pure. They are known as legend beasts, and legend says that they will return when Chima needs them most. Fast forward a bunch of years, we get a civilization of law-abiding lions, hippie gorillas, sleepy bears, studious eagles, wolfy wolves. Yes, I know, super creative. I couldn't really think of anything else. So we're just gonna go with wolfy wolves. A really annoying skunk and some super mean crocs. Oh, and beavers who wanna fix it, and greedy ravens. These tribes are all part of Chima! Anyways, our story doesn't start until the exiling of a lion by the name of Lavertus. Now, he wasn't exiled for doing anything evil, but because King Cromnominous, yes, I know, I mispronounced that super badly, really wanted this croc girl who Lavertus actually managed to rizz up, so he framed him so he could outmog him. The Lion King, Laravis, is extremely sad that his brother, Lavertus, has to be exiled. But as a lion, they must abide by the rules, because without them, we are nothing. Okay, and now we can start with our story. Our story starts with our main character, Laval, who is playing with Kragger, his bestest friend in the world, when Kragger gets the absolutely brilliant idea to peer pressure Laval to come with him and sneak into the Lion Temple to just look at the chi. But if only it was that simple, because then Kragger grabs the chi and uses it, becoming mad with power, attacking people and almost killing them. But luckily, the king of the lions and Laval's dad, Laravis, arrives and saves everyone, and calls for King Cromnominobades and his wife, who we legit never get her name, and gets super mad at the lions since Laval allegedly forced Kragger to break into the temple, even though it was like literally the exact opposite. Kragger is now acting the exact same as a drug addict, looking for another hit, so he convinces his new wolf friend, Warris, to come with him into the Chi Temple again and get another hit of that oh so good Chi, which obviously doesn't work, so he starts running away, since if his parents catch him, bro would be grounded for the rest of his meaningless life, with Laval chasing him since he's a stickler for the rules and he can't let Kragger get away. Now, Kragger, being an absolute scaredy pants, puts up a croc flare as a last-ditch effort. But this is terrible because it pretty much means that they're going to have an all-out war against the lions for this. And even though Kragger changes his mind halfway in, it doesn't matter since they all arrive. Luckily, or maybe unluckily, depending on how you look at it, Laval gets back up too. So there is an all-out war at a place with a literal endless pit as well. When King Kromnominobades with his wife fall down into the endless hole, and guess who Kragger blames? The lions. Now, as king and low-key depressed because of what happens, he decides to plan an attack on the lions on the day of the chi ceremony thingy. Now, the only reason this happened is because of his sister, Kruller, who used a persuasion plan, basically making it so that Kragger will do anything she wants, and she wants to be completely powerful and take over all the other tribes. Otherwise, Kragger would have just been depressed. He wouldn't have wanted to kill the lions. Nevertheless, on the day of the ceremony, Laval gets the honor of using his first ever chi since he is now of age, so he wakes up, brutally assaults and murders Sir Punch-a-Lot, his training dummy. You didn't think he was living, was he? Anyways, he heads off to the ceremony with a bunch of other lions, where he gets chi for the very first time in his life. But as soon as he's about to use it, Kragger comes and steals a bunch of chi and has a pretty crazy war with the lions and the crocs. But Laval starts following Kragger and they fight, and they head off to where they used to play at, the Forever Rock. and Laval gets a shot at killing Krager, but they're supposed to be best friends. Like, this is all just some crazy, insane misunderstanding or whatever. So Laval obviously doesn't kill him because they're friends, or at least they were. But it's not like Krager would listen, so the next time he has a chance at killing him, Krager would definitely take the shot. Meanwhile, at the Lion Temple, the Lions are getting completely beat. Like, the Crocs are running the street with them. But Laval rushes back with Krager, and when everything couldn't get any worse, it gets better. Because the Legend Lion arrives and completely cooks the Crocs. And the Lions survive to give Chi for another day. Now, every month, the Lions give away all of the Chi created by Mount Kavora to all the tribes equally. And now, after what Krager did, Laval gets super mad that they get the Chi because, like, they literally just assaulted their tribe and they are definitely going to use the Chi to be able to attack them again. But, because they're lions and they really like rules for some reason, Laravis, the king, gives all the Chi. Well, not all, but like, he gives their share. But Laval gets really angry about this, and he does not want to, so he chases Krager down and grabs the Chi back from him. However, he's literally no idea what to do with any of the Chi, so he tries to take it back, but Krager, being mind-controlled by Cruller, frames Laval into stealing his Chi, completely enemizing, is that a word? Making the Lions into public enemy number 1 for the Crocs. So Laval decides to drop the Chi into that endless gorge. Nothing can happen from that, right? Like, definitely no foreshadowing. Oh, what do you mean? Foreshadowing? Nah, I can't do that. This is not foreshadowing. Nothing bad is going to happen in Season 2 and Season 3 as a direct result of this. There will be no bugs. There will be nothing that comes from this. Do you hear me? Nothing. No foreshadowing. It's not foreshadowing. Anyways, this show is low-key really episodic. So I'm just going to jump into the next episode where Laval, being the absolutely lazy bum he is, doesn't want to do chores and decides to steal his dad's tank since his dad is getting peace treated the stupid rhinos. And Laval sneaks off with his new best friend, Eris the Eagle, and they go on a road trip. Except nobody should trust Laval with a tank because this bro forgot to use the parking thingy, so it legit just rolls off the hill and gets completely wrecked. So they have to get help from the beavers, who their favorite thing to do in the world is to fix it. And they get to work, but apparently the Crocs also hired the beavers to create a huge dam for them so they can have all the Chi for themselves, which Laval and Eris stop and beat up Krager and Cruller. Flash forward a little bit, and we get our monthly Golden Chi race, where all the tribes come together and race, and whoever wins gets a super powerful Golden Chi. But Cruller doesn't want Krager to compete because the mind control could wear off halfway in. So, she gets a bit creative and hires the Ravens to first steal Laval's speed ore to distract everyone, and when it is unguarded, they can steal the Golden Chi. Which this plan doesn't work because the Ravens get caught stealing it. So Cruller can't steal the Golden Chi. Anyways, flash forward a bunch more, and Laval is getting a tour of the Eagles' base of Eris when the Krager makes a plan to knock down the Eagles' base by using bellow plants to fly up there, put chains, and knock it down since it's all on like a single piece of stone. But all the Crocs are low-key too scared to use the bellow plants, so they hire the Ravens to steal the Wolf's Mother Tooth and frame the Eagles for this crime so they can help the Crocs fight the Eagles, which basically what the Mother Tooth is that during the Wolves' early days, the Wolf Legend Bees caused them to be smart and living, and all they had left is just one of her teeth, so they value it extremely highly. So they decided to team up the Crocs, and the Wolves and Crocs ambush the Eagles. The Wolves all fly up with the bellow plants and start fighting everyone of the Eagles. Not really being fighters, they start getting beat up. But Laval tries getting his lions to come as reinforcements, but they need the Ravens to fly him up, which the Ravens, being the greedy meanies they are, they sell the lions out too, by selling info to the wolves on where to ambush. And so they start getting cooked too. But once the Crocs start pulling down the tower, Laval and Eris go down and find the Mother Tooth. And the Ravens start saving everyone, because if the Eagles' tower falls, then the Wolves and the Lions and the Eagles all die. which is all their best customers, which would mean that all the best customers are gone. And that's bad for business. And the Ravens are like really greedy and all they want is money. So they save everyone and beat up the Crocs. Flash forward a bit more, and we are having a purple moon, which happens once every 100 years, which drives the wolves completely insane. However, the Crocs decide to use this to their advantage. Crueler kidnaps a gorilla and forces her to scream for help during the entire night, which, mind you, there is a full tribe of insane and powerful wolves trying to kill everyone. And to top it off, this is the literal only night that Skinnet, the skunk, actually smells good. However, nothing is going to be good because Gorsan, the gorilla, comes to Laval and Eris for help to find the gorilla. And the second they go out, they get chased and the wolves outrun their mechs. So they start getting backup from the rest of the gorilla tribe and they somehow find the lost gorilla and the night ends barely with their lives. Flash forward a little bit more. The biggest golden sheet ever was formed. And so they have their monthly speedway race, which is low-key rigged for the Crocs because it is a water course. However, this race gets even crazier since Don Delouche, a legendary racer from many years ago, comes back for one final race. However, Laval's speedway isn't even turning on, but he uses a cheat and turns it on and reaches first. But he crashes. But another racer arrives. Shadow Wind, an extremely mysterious and extremely fast racer, and completely demolishes the competition. Fast forward even more, and the gorillas are having the most important relaxation session of their life, since they are about to attain the Great Bliss, when Krieger cuts down an extremely important tree, aggravating him. So Krieger starts running from the entire tribe and runs back to the swamp, which is when one of the gorillas comes to Laval and tries to save Krieger from being brutally murdered. Except Krieger doesn't really need help since he leads them to the deep swamp, and they all get trapped. But the lions arrive and help the gorillas for some reason, and they beat up the Crocs and escape. Anyways, flash forward a little bit more, Crueler decides to secretly make a deal with the wolves without Krieger knowing because he messes everything up, and so she brings the pact of the wolves to trade, basically saying that the wolves must always come to the Crocs' help, which she trades in return for support in stealing all the cheat. Basically, their plan is to cause a bunch of mistrust and use that distraction to steal all the cheat in the Lion Temple, which the plan is working so far, to the point that during the race nobody is paying attention and everybody is arguing with each other. But then Krieger and Laval run into the Lion Temple, and when the wolves get on a helicopter, Krieger jumps on. He falls off, but then Laval catches him, and his mind control finally starts wearing off and starts becoming friends again. And that is all for season 1. This season is so stupid. I genuinely hated watching this. Like, I did not like Lego Dreams season 1, but this is a whole lot worse. The entire show is extremely periodic. I don't like any of the tribes. Maybe just the gorillas just because they're kind of funny. And then most of the other tribes are really boring. And then we got Eris with her really annoying voice. And the plot low-key sucks in this season. Though, to be fair, in the next few seasons, it will become much better. And that is all for this week's video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.